Hi, everyone. This is Robert Kientz. I'm the editor and founder of goldsilverpros.com. I've been given the honor of providing the intro to your main presentation today. Before we get into my presentation, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the site that I run at goldsilverpros.com. We offer a quarterly newsletter called the Golden Quarterly, as well as weekly interviews with experts and analysts in both the precious metals sector and in the economy. If you want to find out more about us, simply go to goldsilverpros.com and click on who we are. Many of my articles have been published in these outlets that you see on your screen over the last 10 years. The presentation I'm going to give you today is called Resources Are Essential for the U.S. Economy. I'm going to provide a special focus on platinum and palladium. The first chart is brought to us courtesy of the European Chemical Society on behalf of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Foundation. The reason I included this chart is because it shows us the 90 natural elements that make up just about everything we use on a daily basis. And if you are one of the younger generation that relies on smartphones as your main communication method during the day, I wanted to point out this item on the bottom right-hand corner, elements used in a smartphone that is labeled across this map. Meaning, if we didn't have all of these elements available in our supply, we would not be able to use this smartphone technology. The other interesting thing about this chart is it provides us the amount of resources that we have. The orange colored resources show those that we have relative scarcity and may run out of in the next 100 years. The other categories are limited availability in yellow and plentiful supply in green. According to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, the total amount of resources used in the U.S. economy in 2018, the year with the latest data available, was $893 billion. 44.9% of that went into oil and gas. 11.5% went into other mining outside of oil and gas. The non-metallic mineral products made up 14.9%, and the primary metals, such as aluminum, copper, lead, and zinc, make up 28.7%. So what are minerals used for? I'm glad you asked. Let's look at a typical American's day and see what minerals we will use every day. We may wake up in the morning and decide to make a cup of coffee before we head out to work, in which we'll usually drive or take a bus, or maybe even sometimes the subway. Usually we'll work on a computer, whether we be working in the office or even if we're in retail and manufacturing, often we have computers in our jobs as well. Often we'll come home and make a nice dinner and then sometimes retire to the television to stream some Netflix or play video games perhaps on the computer. So what minerals did we use in this process? Well, when we woke up, our alarm clock uses limestone, mica, talc, silica, and clay. And when we make coffee, we use aluminum and petroleum products. If we take a shower, then our shower faucets are used of iron, aluminum, copper, silica, sand, limestone, talc, and feldspar. And if we're using shampoo and soap, we're often including coal tar, lithium clay, and selenium. When we ride to work in a car or a bus, we're using copper, iron, limestone, mica, talc, silica, various clays, petroleum products, lead, molybdenum, chromium, nickel, aluminum, and zinc. And if we have an electric car, then we're using 10 times of that first metal listed in copper, as well as adding healthy amounts of lithium, cobalt, and other minerals as well. When we get to work and we start using a computer, we often use gold, silica, nickel, aluminum, zinc, iron, various petroleum products, and 30 other minerals too long to list on this slide. Let's say we come home and make dinner and we want to save time and use the microwave. Well, we're using silica, copper, gold, iron, and nickel. And if we decide to have a cup for water or our other favorite drink, we're using silica, limestone, and feldspar. And if we decide to sit down and watch TV or use the computer, we're using iron, silica, copper, aluminum, silver, and nickel. And we go to bed, our bed springs are made often of iron and nickel, and the rest of our beds are made of wood and textiles. The point being is that we could not have our current lifestyle without all of these different minerals that we pull out of the ground, and those minerals are pulled out of the ground through the mining process. I want to pay special attention to a certain group of metals known as the platinum group metals, or PGMs. What are the platinum group metals? Well, they include platinum, palladium, rhodium, iridium, osmium, and ruthenium. They commonly occur together in nature and are among the scarcest of the metallic elements, which is why they're called precious metals. Platinum and also palladium are used principally in catalysts for the control of automobile and industrial plant emissions. They're used in jewelry. They're using catalysts to produce acids, organic chemicals, and pharmaceuticals. And platinum and palladium are also used in bushings for making glass fibers used in fiber reinforced plastic and other advanced materials. They're used in electrical contacts, in capacitors, and in conductive and resistive films. The point being that without the platinum group metals, we would not have a lot of the technologies that we take for granted today. The main use of the platinum group metals is in automotive catalytic converters. They're considered to be a green technology because platinum and palladium help reduce polluting auto emissions by removing, among other things, nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrocarbon emissions. As we see here in the picture, we have a catalytic converter, and it shows that the gases flow through a dense honeycomb structure, often made from ceramic, and coated with the PGM catalysts. In addition, a lot of times we also add in a third PGM element that's called rhodium. The honeycomb structure here means the gases touch a bigger area of the catalyst at once, and so they're converted more quickly and efficiently to non-toxic water vapor and other vapors. Well, then the question becomes, how much PGM is used in an automobile? Well, thanks to the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, we have this chart showing the amount of metals used in a typical automobile, leading the pack are iron and steel at over a ton of 2,124 pounds, followed up by aluminum at 240 pounds, carbon at 50 pounds, copper at 42, silicon at 41, lead at 24, and zinc at 22. On down to the bottom where we get to either platinum or palladium, where we use as little as 1/10 of a troy ounce or about 3 grams. The good news is because these metals are very rare, we don't have to use very much of them in the catalytic process in automobiles. But we will also see how we don't have a great supply of those, and further how getting to those supplies can often be difficult. I wanted to speak a little bit about platinum and palladium as used in jewelry. About 29% of palladium produced every year is used in jewelry applications. And I'm going to compare palladium and platinum. Palladium is less dense than platinum, so it's less heavy to wear. And for those people who don't like wearing heavy jewelry, they may choose palladium over platinum. Palladium is also harder than platinum, so it's harder to scratch. However, both platinum and palladium are both hard to scratch metals, so both are used equally in jewelry. Both platinum and palladium are 95% pure compared with white gold. White gold consists of 42% other white metals, usually nickel, where only 58% of that piece of jewelry is in actual gold. And it's the nickel that gives the white gold its silvery luster. Getting back to the amount of platinum group metals available, we can see here on this chart from the Johnson Matthey 2019 PGM market report that the vast majority of our PGM group metals comes from 2 countries in South Africa and Russia, whereas only about 16% comes from other places in the world. The unfortunate aspect of this is that both countries have higher geopolitical risk for the Western world. South Africa, which has long been an ally of the Western world and North America, is going through different geopolitical problems, which has led to some shortening of supply and some mine closures, which has led to less platinum group metals being available. In addition, Russia is not the most friendly nation towards the United States and other Western nations, so Western nations are looking for alternative sources of platinum group metals. There have not been a lot of findings of economic platinum group metals in the West, except recently in Canada. I want to take a moment to invite you to a very special conference that Gold Silver Pros is putting on. It's called the North America Monetary Metal Summit. It'll be coming to you virtually online August 6th and 7th of 2020. You can register for free at goldsilverpros.com/NAMS2020. That's goldsilverpros.com/NAMMS2020. We're very excited to host the legendary author of the Morgan Report, David Morgan, as well as many other guest speakers, including Nick Bearschiff of B&G Group, Rob Kirby of Kirby Analytics, Alex Newman of The New American, Chris Marcus of Arcadia Economics, Kenneth Amaduri of Crusher Street, as well as many, many more presenters. We would love to see you online. You will have the ability to talk with the exhibitors and the presenters at the conference. Thank you very much for listening to me during this presentation. I hope I provided you helpful information that you can use for your future presentation. If you have any questions on information regarding the economy or precious metals, feel free to reach out to us at goldsilverpros.com, and you can email me directly at robert@goldsilverpros.com. Stay tuned for your feature presentation.